Jim Norton is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now, 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Once again, big day here at SiriusXM. I've come back once again I said once again twice. That's how you know I'm tired, when I repeat a phrase twice in the opening sentence. I used to do this show from home, but since I moved, we have to get a line hooked up. And for whatever reason, Don has been on vacation, and this week he went home yesterday instead of coming to fix my thing, so I have to leave my house at 2:15 to come back here. And I know, woe is me. If you're standing right now, if you're in sludge, like if you're wearing the same things that fucking fishermen wear to walk into the ocean, like those type of pants, but you have shit up to your ankles, you don't feel sorry for me. And I don't blame you. You have a harder job than I do. But I'm tired today. And I didn't want to come back to do this. I wanted to do the advice show, but I wanted to stay home in my underpants, or panties, as it were, and come back. But anyway, I'm here, and let's just hope we can get through this. Let's plow through this dumb show, and hopefully get some good advice calls here. Let's go with number one, Nigel in Chicago. It's very British sounding. Hello, Nigel.
Hello, Jimmy. I just moved to Chicago and a few months back, and it was like tough acting, tenactin'.
Oh, yeah. That was in my head one day. It wouldn't leave. Tough acting, tenactin', all day. I really am mentally ill. Sometimes I walk around and I just hear this shit in my head, and it's really embarrassing.
Well, you infect us, and then we start to do it all whole time.
Well, that's the point. So what's up, Nigel?
Well, I just had some exploratory surgery and discovered that I do not have cancer of the liver, which I'm very happy about.
Mm-hmm.
But, I guess I thought that on the other side of this, I was going to, wake up and smell the flowers and just go out there and grab life by the fucking balls and whatnot. And I am still as angry or more angry than when I went into the surgery.
When did you go in for the surgery?
It was last week.
It is odd. Well, maybe if you hate your life, cancer would have made you happy, because then you'd be like, well, this will be over soon. But I understand that. It's the way I see evidence. If something shitty happens, I take it as evidence of what I've always thought. I suck, I'm worthless, and I deserve nothing. So something bad happens and it's a confirmation. You see that? Garbage tits? But if something good happens, I ignore it. For some reason, because something good happening doesn't prove my negative theory that life sucks and I'm a victim. So for some reason, I weigh those facts of good things happening on a much lower or less important scale than I do when the bad things happen. So if you had cancer, you'd probably be going, oh, fucking, you see, life stinks, I can't catch a break. And here you caught a big break and you refuse to acknowledge it to yourself. So just realize it's your outlook that's shitty. It's not life.
We are some whiny little bitches, aren't we, Jim?
Yeah, man, it really are. In the face of good evidence, I still see things negatively, and that's just shitty. So congratulations on not having cancer, but I'm sure other things will go wrong that you can look forward to.
Thank you. Carry on and keep helping some people.
All right, sweet boy. Thank you very much. Hi, Luke in Kentucky.
Hi, Jimmy. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I have a buddy. I've known him for like 15 years. In the last 18 months or so, me and my friends, we've all noticed like a big change in him. He's always been like a God's not real type of guy and things like that, but now he's turned into magic crystals and shit like that. And I think he's an undiagnosed mentally ill, I would lean towards schizophrenic because he has delusions of grandeur and shit like that. But I don't know how to approach him on it, because if he's not mentally ill, it just means he's turned into a douche that I wouldn't want to be friends with. And if he is mentally ill, I'm sure it's going to ruffle his feathers.
Well, let me ask you a question. When he didn't believe in God, was he the type of atheist that would talk about it loudly and all the time?
No.
Okay.
If somebody pulled his string, he would be like, yeah, I don't buy that. But now it's like he tried to tell, I went to lunch with him today, and he tried to tell me that he thinks that we're all in like a Matrix type like simulation. I put down my fork and I was like, are you fucking joking? And he's like, no, I'm serious. And I was like, he's like, there's no way you can disprove it. And I was like, well, there's no way it can be proven either. Like, the fuck's the matter with you? But
yeah, did he have like any major stuff happen in his life? I mean, sometimes that will send somebody off the deep end. Or is he on any meds?
Not that I know of. I mean, other than he got married. I mean, we were always growing up. We were always pretty big drinkers and things like that. And now he's kind of switched over to smoking weed. But it just seems like he's kind of self-medicating to me, if I had to guess. But,
well, if it ruffles his feathers, as you said, I mean, that's what friends are for. Now, there's a way to do it. You know, you don't have to sit down and say, all right, sit down, you nutty bag of shit. But you might say to him, hey, man, you all right? And then point out what you're talking about. And say it without, like, judgment. And without, hey, man, what the fuck's with this inconsistency? But if you sit somebody down and go, look, bro, for a long time you were kind of an atheist, I thought, and now you're talking about crystals and you've changed everything. Is everything cool? Are you all right? Sometimes if you ask someone if they're all right, he might go, yeah, I just had a change of heart, or maybe he'll open up to you. Or I don't know how you suggest to somebody they might be a little nuts. Again, with my friend, it's a little different because we would just say it. Dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? You act like an ass. Take something. But there are ways to ask people if they're doing okay or are you okay, without accusing them of being mentally ill. And hopefully you can get him thinking, or maybe he'll tell you something. But I'm not sure how you would approach somebody. He's not hurting anybody. He's not hurting himself, right?
Well, he owns a small business that, like, my wife actually works for him and several of our friends, and we're all just kind of sitting back watching it run it right into the toilet. So,
okay.
I mean, physically he's not hurting anybody, but it's like everybody that's on the outside looking in can see, he's just fucking running right off a cliff.
Well, why don't you sit down with him and just be gentle and be honest?
Yeah,
there's a way to do it where you can go like, look, man, I'm just concerned, and I know it's awkward sometimes. I've had friends with problems, and I'm like, if you mention it, it's going to be a whole thing. They're going to get defensive. But you know what? Fuck them. Let them. If you do it as a friend and you do it gently and you're not being a nag and you're not trying to run somebody's life because of morality, you're not saying, well, look, I've noticed you're dating a Negro woman and I don't approve. I mean, that's a lot different than, hey, look, you have a tinfoil hat on and you made $31 last year. That's a legitimate concern. So I think that you're right to mention it to him. Just be nice about it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. I would have never thought to be nice about it, Jimmy. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah, be good, buddy. Jared in Oklahoma. You remind me of my friend.
What's going on, Jimmy?
Hi, Jared.
Hey, when you coming to Oklahoma?
I don't know. It's going to be on the second leg of the tour, which tickets probably go on sale Friday or Thursday. I'm going to talk to my agent today. But I will be hitting Oklahoma, Fargo, North Dakota, Minnesota, a whole bunch of places. So, I mean, I've been to Minneapolis, but it's been years. Fargo, I've never been to, and I've never been to Oklahoma. But people have been asking me for years. A lot of truckers out in Oklahoma. So I'm looking forward to that one a lot.
Where at in Oklahoma?
I don't know. To be real honest with you, hold on. As we're talking, and I'm clearing my shitty sinuses, I'm going to buy a shotgun someday. When they say, what are you doing? I'm going to be like, my nose is congested. I'm like, all right, we get it. Hold on. Let me find this. I don't know where I'm looking through my email as we talk. Hold on. I'll tell you my stupid Oklahoma date will be, it looks like Edmond, Oklahoma.
Okay, cool.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot for calling.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, bye. Let's see here. Bob in Texas is mentally ill and would like to respond to the last caller. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to respond to the last caller. I think that mental illness is something that we all need to accept and be on the same page with, because it's treatable, it's not curable, but it's not something that should be shamed.
Right. Well, I think sometimes that's why I said talk to him nicely and ask him if he was all right. When it comes to mental, when you're saying shame and a lot of things in a rational discussion, but if someone is kind of unhinged and having delusions of grandeur, it's a little harder to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they may not see it that way. They may think they're totally normal. It's not about judgment. It's about if the guy's mentally ill, how do you talk to him and get him to accept the fact that you're, trying to help him and talk about it?
Well, the way I was talked to about it was, I was basically sat down and told, look, man, you're off the tracks. But
okay.
It wasn't in the way of, you're acting crazy or you're a nut job or anything like that.
Well, that's why, I said just do it as a friend and be gentle about it and just ask him if he's okay and talk to him about what you think. I think that's all you can do.
I agree.
So basically you're saying in the advice department, I hit a home run.
Well, I would say you hit a grand slam.
All right, cool. I thought you were going to downgrade me to a double. All right, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it, Jimmy.
Thank you. There's no one on base, but delusions of grandeur, I would say it's a grand slam. But what, buddy? I'm sorry.
So what advice you give so far that I've heard has been good. I would tell you one thing. I would advise against unprotected sex with trannies.
All right, sir. Well, we can agree to disagree. We can nod as gentlemen on other sides of the aisle. It's good, bad to have unprotected sex with anyone, sir. Let's just get that message out for the kids. And for anybody in my age group, go raw or go home.
For the kids.
Thanks, buddy. Let's see here. Jim in New York. I'm a Jim in New York. Holy shit.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Good.
Listen, I went to rehab in 2012, and I was sober for 3 years. And last summer, I kind of fell back into, drinking again. And that's what I went for, alcohol. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of falling back into the same wormhole. AA or, it's not working. I'm not a fan. I don't like being told what to do, so I'm just looking for any advice you got.
Well, I mean, let me say, I don't like being told what to do either, to be honest. I hate it, and I resist it. And I think most alcoholics or addicts or even normal people do. No one likes being told what to do. It stinks. I think that a lot of 12-step groups have suggested steps and their programs of suggestion. There are no rules. There's no one that tells you have to do anything. So if you're going to a 12-step group, whether it's AA or NA or GA or any of them, I don't believe anybody would be telling you have to do anything. And I think that will be the appeal to most of those things. Kind of like voluntary therapy. A therapist can ask you questions and talk to you, but they can't make you do anything.
Right.
So sometimes I got to think all right, the way I think in my way, it gets me in shit and it fucks me up every time. It really does. When I take suggestions from people who are doing, like in any job you have, like let's just say whether it's being sober or in my own dumb life, being a comic, if I take suggestions from people who are living the way I want to live, like, you know what I mean? Like I look at a guy like, say Louis C.K. Hey man, I want to have a life like Louis. He might sit down and go, okay, well you got to write down your ideas and then you got to learn how to direct and you got to learn how to shoot. But if I just run around and don't do any of that shit, and go, I'm not going to write anything down. I'm just going to pick up a camera and run around and just try to improv dialogue. And then I wonder why my shorts come out like garbage. It was because I listened to suggestions and then ignored them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my way a lot of times doesn't work. So when I listen to someone who has what I want, and if being sober is what you want, find people who have that and do what they did.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's what I would suggest. And sometimes, I don't like even suggestions sometimes. The bottom line is I want to live the way I want to live. So if somebody suggests something I don't like, I put that under the category of you can't boss me around. Even though I know they're not bossing me around, they're just telling me something I don't want to hear, like, Jim, you're full of shit, or whatever it is. I have to decide what is a worse scenario. Me not liking what they say and being sober and growing as a person, or me doing it my own way and having the same fucking horrible cycle repeat itself over and over again.
I got you.
All right?
All right, I appreciate the advice.
Good luck, buddy.
Take care, man.
All right, you too, Jim. All right, let's see here. Ellie or Eli in Georgia?
Eli, man. Hey, Jimmy. How you doing?
Hi, Eli.
Big fan, dude. I've been listening and watching everything you've done for over 10 years.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so I'm in recovery. I've been sober for about 6.5 years. One of the gifts of recovery, I've kind of been able to restore a lot of the family relationships that I fucked up for probably 14 years before that. And I'm really close to my family, my parents in particular. I live right across the road from them. But I do live in the South, in an area that's kind of intolerant of a lot of things along racial lines. And I've recently gotten into a relationship with a black girl. It's been kind of an area of contention. I went to my family, told them what was going on. My mother seems to accept it pretty well. My father, however, has not responded the way I hoped he would. And he has kind of told me within the last 3 days that he would not be a part of that relationship. And I'm trying to, not get into a pissing match with them, not have it come between our relationship. But I'm also fearful that it may affect the ability to move forward in the relationship.
How old are you?
So I'm kind of 34.
So your dad's feelings on it should have zero impact. And as far as you allowing this relationship to interfere with your thing with your father, you're not. He is. He's saying that you, as his adult son, are making a choice that he's not comfortable with, and he's not going to side with you on it. And that's his problem, not yours. That's 100% his problem. You're doing you're living your life.
Absolutely, and I told him I understood his choice. Unfortunately, it's kind of been ingrained in him.
Sure,
I get it. That type of thinking around here is accepted as normal. I'm just, going forward, I don't know what it will mean as far as my ability to have a normal relationship. I live directly across the road from them, and just kind of in their face. And I also cannot not tell her. We've been dating for 6 weeks, but eventually I have to have that conversation with her, and I'm kind of, concerned how that will affect us going forward.
Well, in time, you can have that discussion with her. But if your dad, I understand that a lot of older people with race, they were taught a certain way. And this absolutely goes into the way you think. Because people always go, well, he was raised properly, so he's got good manners. So we credit the upbringing with people having great manners. We also have to understand that the upbringing can go with people having shitty racial feelings, too. And it's a hard thing to change the way you think when you're thinking, that way for a long, long time. And, again, every good black guy you meet, you put in the who cares category. All right, whatever. But every bad black guy you see on the news, you're like, see, that's just exactly what I thought. But, I think that he's also a responsible adult. And even if he isn't crazy about it, if he said, look, this is a little hard for me to take, but, yeah, you're my son and there's nothing wrong with you making that decision. He's willing to let it affect a relationship with him. And I can only know in my own life, I'm not saying you should do this, but if my parents had an issue with any person I was dating, I would just go, okay, well, you're not going to see me then. And that's it. And that's because I don't love my mom and dad. It's because if anybody was arrogant enough to allow who I'm dating, and again, unless they're a married person or a child, if I'm dating someone, again, who's, illegal, that's different. But, if you're just dating an adult person, anyone who had the audacity to tell me they wouldn't have a relationship with me because of this, I would cut out of my life in a second. In a second.
Well, his actual response was, I still love you. I want a relationship with you, but I won't be a part of this. And after talking to my sponsor, he said that maybe give it a week, give it some time, and go back to him and explain to him what that may mean for our relationship. How can we expect to have any normalcy in this family dynamic if you want to accept the person I'm with? So, I'm going to follow his advice and maybe give it a few days and maybe revisit. That's great. Yeah, that's a good suggestion because, again... But I'm pissed off, Yeah, I would be too. But again, like you said, he was raised a certain way, and be pissed off in hindsight. Like, if he refuses to change once he realizes this is a real thing, eventually he'll meet her. And people have a tendency to soften on stuff like that when they get to know the person, and she's not just a black girl, but like whatever her real name, Denise say. And then he sees her as Denise and not just my son's black girlfriend. It's much harder to keep certain attitudes once people are humanized by being around you. So again, that may change for him too, Well, good deal, man. I'll sit on it. I really appreciate the advice. Yeah, I didn't really give you any. Your sponsor gave you better advice than I did. So good luck with that. And I would definitely listen to what he said. Thanks, brother. Have a good one. All right, buddy. Take care. I mean, for the record, I side with the dad. If anybody has to know, I don't go for that. No. Let's see here. Dave in Orlando. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. I actually talked to you about 4 months ago. Girlfriend had some drug issues, and she eventually got caught, got arrested. So she's done some time in jail, and now she's going to. She got sentenced to go to like an inpatient rehab.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to go. She's kind of kept communicating with me, and I'm allowed to go visit her on like one day a week or whatever. And I guess my question is, do I try to give someone like that an opportunity? She burned me a couple of times while we were dating, but now she's obviously clean and she's saying all the right things. Do I give her another shot, or do I just say, something, you fucked me, and
how long are you with her?
Call it about a year, a little over.
Okay, about a year. And how much do you like her?
Oh, I love her.
Oh, you love her.
At least I did, and now I'm just kind of, some weeks I'm like, fuck off, and some weeks I'm, I can't imagine not ever speaking to her again.
Is this as...
I kind of go back and forth.
Sure. Is this as sincere as she has seemed so far? Like, is this the longest she seems to, like, actually be on the road to the right path?
Yeah, but I wonder, part of me thinks, okay, yeah, you can say all the right things and do all the right things when your life is being basically 100% controlled behind bars, but what's going to happen when you get out? And that's what I'm really fearful of, is when she's left to her own devices again. Is she immediately going to just, piss away all the work she did? And I don't know if I can really put up with that again, and I don't know. But she does seem sincere, yes. She does say all the right things and talks about, trying to get everything squared away and going down the right path. And
well, you know what, buddy? I mean, look, the worst that can happen is now you'll be guarded. If you really love the girl, give her one more shot, but just don't go into it blind. It's like you don't back into a room full of fists with your asshole open, I just made up that awful example. I acted like that was sage advice, but I just said that. But, you have to really be aware of what's going on. And if you're very cautious, like, all right, she's lied before, she's fucked up, she may be good this time. You know what I mean? And just kind of give yourself a thing. All right, this is my final straw with her. I'm willing to give it one more shot because she is going to jail and a rehab, and that can help. So give her the shot. And if it doesn't work out, you'll go, you know what? I walked away after giving her the shot. Because if you walk away now and then all of a sudden she does good and you see her in a mall in a year, you might be like, fuck, I should have stuck that one out.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of where I was thinking with it, but I always...
give her another shot. One more shot.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good, Jimmy. Thanks, buddy.
All right, goodbye. Joe in Milwaukee emailed me an idea for the Chip cartoon. What's up, Joe?
I just want to see if you got my email. And the subject was idea for Chip-a-tune or something.
I don't know if I did. I haven't read it, but resend it to me. Don't say it on the air because...
No, I won't. Okay. No, I won't. That's why I sent an email instead of... I was going to call E-Rock Show last Friday, and I decided, you might want to keep it under wraps if you're working on it and it's out.
Joe, resend it because I would have at least sent you a thank you email if I read it.
All right, yeah. I'm going to put Chip idea, cartoon idea or something in the subject. I got a question for Chip, though.
Okay.
Hey, Chip, I know vegetarians eat vegetables, but do libertarians only eat liver?
I didn't know where you were going with that one until you said liver. I was like, this guy's fucking nutty.
All right, I'll send you that email tonight, Jim.
Yeah, whatevs. Piece of garbage.
All right, later.
This is a terrible joke. He said vegetables. Where's the tea, you piece of garbage? All right. Let's see, Dave in Pittsburgh. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
Good. Hey, I got a relationship issue. I was married for 13 years, separated and divorced for 2 years. I have 2 kids of my own. I'm in Pennsylvania, but my kids, both of them with the same woman, live in South Carolina, so I don't see them as much as I want to. Girls now.
Hey, we're going to have to let you go. Call back, David. Your phone is totally crapping out. So if you can, just dial us back. You had like that cell like where I heard it, and all of a sudden you disappeared. So sorry, buddy. Just give us a call back. Let's see here. Rob in Canada.
Hey, Jimmy. How's it going?
Hey, Rob.
I'm calling because, I'm not as how could I say this? I'm not as free-spirited as you are.
Okay.
But I got a high tech drive, and I always had a high tech drive. And when I was single, I fooled around a lot and whatnot. And I met my wife. I've been married for 10 years, with her for 14 now, and I knew back then that her tech drive wasn't as high as mine, and I liked her. We had the same interests and whatnot. And,
sure.
And right now, I'm 36, and my sex drive is still high. Like, I can masturbate like two times a day, no problem. And when we come to talk about trying something new or for her to engage and not me to engage her. Like, sometimes we get in a fight, and and we say, I watch porn, and then she's like, well, blah blah blah, and she doesn't like me to masturbate, and and I love her.
She doesn't want you to jerk off either?
No. Like, she knows I do it, but she doesn't like it because I don't know. Like, we're totally different in that aspect, And every time that I talk to her about it, sometimes we get in a fight, sometimes we don't. But sometimes I just don't even talk about it because I just get frustrated from.
Is she religious?
No, she's not.
Well, then what is it about it that she doesn't like? I can see if she just doesn't like fuck. She doesn't have a high libido, as they say. But how could she not want you to whack your bag?
No, I know, and I still do it because I just it gets the poison out. I find because if not, like, I'm not that I'm afraid I'm going to cheat on her, but it's just like I said, she's the kids, she's the wife of my two kids. And I really love her, but I don't know how to approach to get her to try to engage more and try new stuff.
Well, have you tried? What have you tried with her?
When we started going out, I could eat her out and whatnot, and
attaboy.
And I love eating pussy. So you know what Canadians, we love beavers.
Yeah.
So and now she doesn't really want to,
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. She's kind of reserved on that side, and my parents, my mother and whatnot, and my dad, like, they weren't reserved as much like that, and like her parents are really reserved and kind of religious. I don't know if it comes from.
All right, so her parents were religious, so she was raised with a religious thing going on.
Yeah, because I remember she told me, like, when she was young that if she had a boyfriend or like a younger boyfriend, like, she couldn't have her door closed of her bedroom if her boyfriend was there and stuff like that. And me, like, it was totally opposite. I had a girlfriend at 16. She'd sleep over and she slept in my room in my bed with me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big thing at home at my place. Like.
Well, look. So, did you ever try couples therapy where she might be more comfortable talking to a stranger?
No, I thought about it. Like, maybe talk to her and go see a sexologist or something, or a couple therapy. Just and like I said, our marriage is great. I love her. It's not the end of the world, but like, like, she still does it to me. Like, she'll come from work and then she'll be wearing something. I'll just look at her and I'll fucking stiff as a board. And I tell her that, and she's like, "Well, no, stop, no." Like, it kind of embarrasses her when I tell her that. So
just grab your prick through your sportabouts. Wear a pair of sportabouts and grab your prick. Say, why don't you come over here and kiss this thing on the head?
And that happened once too. Like, she got to work and we just went at it, and that was like great. But I just find sometimes like it's hard to get her engaged when I'm ready to go pretty much every night. So.
Sure. But. Yeah, I would say go to couples therapy and try that, just because there might be something she can tell them that she can't tell you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Jimmy.
See you, buddy. I mean, I can only speak for what's happening today. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Tuesday, May 31st. I mean, again, if I'm alive, I hope I'm alive, because there's a really huge comedy event coming to NBC, and it's like, you want to be alive for that. It's the premiere of Maya and Marty, starring Maya Rudolph and Martin Short. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, I just am. But Maya and Marty are two of the funniest and most versatile performers around. And now they're teaming up for the next great variety show. If you saw them on the SNL 40 special, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That moment together they had was one of the most hilarious moments of the show. You know that Maya Rudolph can imitate almost any female celebrity and sing like them. Martin Short's characters are their comedy legend. Lawyer Nathan Thurm, Jackie Rogers Jr., and Ed Grimley. I mean, need I name more? It's that kind of comedy gold they're bringing to NBC prime time. Maya and Marty is an hour of comedy sketches, musical numbers, and big celebrity guests. Show also features SNL star Kenan Thompson. You're not going to want to miss the premiere of Maya and Marty. It's after the premiere of America's Got Talent with a new judge, Simon Cowell. Back to being cranky, I imagine. It's May 31st on NBC. You know, you're going to be watching Simon. You know that. You want to see what he's going to do on America's Got Talent. Is he going to be nice? Is he going to be cranky? Is he going to be nice? Is he going to be cranky? And you might like that show, you might not. But then you're going to see, like, advertisements for Maya and Marty. And you're going to say to your wife, you want to watch it? And she's going to go, I guess so, because she does the females, and you like Ed Grimley. And you'll say, yes, I do. And then you two will have another sexless moment on the couch, just watching funny people. Maybe you'll mutually masturbate while you're watching that. Maybe, you'll dip your fingers in your wife's vagina and she'll tug your penis while you don't make eye contact. You both just stare straight ahead and laugh. All right, let's see. Dave in Pittsburgh calling back. Hello, Dave.
Sorry about crapping out on you, Jim.
Oh, that's all right. It happens, you sweet angel.
So, like I was saying, I was married for 13 years, separated, divorced for 2. I'm living in Pennsylvania, and my kids and my ex-wife are in South Carolina, so I don't get to see them as much as I want to. But I've been seeing this one girl for over a year, about a year and a half, and she's 31, I'm 34. I got a son and daughter of my own, and she doesn't have any kids. I love this girl that I'm with, but I can't see myself starting over again.
Sure.
My kids are 12 and 5, and having a brand new baby with another woman. I don't know how my kids would feel when they come and visit. If I'm replacing them. However, I wouldn't mind having a kid close to me, and watch them, be born and raised and raise them when I'm not really raising my kids in South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, look, you might have to, when your kids walk in, you might have to just explain them, but do it firmly, like grab them by the shirt collar and just rough them up and scream at them that there's a new baby coming and they'd better be nice to it.
Right.
Or maybe that's not the right way to handle it. Maybe you just want to tell them, like, hey, look, however parents tell their kids there's a new baby coming, I had to accept it. I mean, I love you. This is just a new baby. It doesn't change my love for you. I mean, I guess that's how you say it, right?
This girl's not pregnant, but she wants kids.
Well, you could tell her we're going to try to have a little brother or sister for you guys to play with, a half brother, half sister. I mean, that's very common in families. It's not like it's not like you're saying, like, look, I have 2 children and I kind of want to break their legs and give their sneakers to someone else. All right, that might be a little shitty. Having a new kid because you and your new girl want one is fine, and your kids will handle it.
Yeah, that's the situation, though, because I don't know if I want another kid with me having a son and a daughter.
No, well, that's what you got to kind of, that's up to you. But if you want one, don't let anybody tell you can't have one.
Right. And then I'm afraid if I tell her that I don't want one and end up, getting fixed, I'm afraid that I'll end up losing her. But
well, yeah, you got to figure what do you want too. You're saying that your kids might not want one. Your girlfriend wants this. Your wife wants. You got to figure out what you want too.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
All right, Jim.
Good luck, sweetie. Either that or just keep, like, accidentally pulling out and coming on her thigh until you make a decision. Say, I'm going to give you a baby, and then just pull out, like, oh, sorry, I missed. Jose in Georgia. Hello? Oh, Joseph. Sorry, buddy. I saw Jose ... Joseph. Sorry, it looked like Jose. Hello? Did we pick him up? Everybody say hi. All right, I don't hear anybody. Let's see here. Advice on being a stand-up. Hello, Zach.
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian in Daytona Beach, and I'm having a really hard time juggling trying to be a professional stand-up, eventually, and, holding down a relationship with a girlfriend, with a kid. It's really difficult to try and get out to the mics as much as you need to, and
how long are you doing
trying to get spots. I did it on and off for 2 years because I didn't know any better, and then I met a bunch of stand-up comedians that were like, "You need to get up all the time."
Yeah, you do.
So like probably about 3.5 years, going on 4, like trying to get up at least 4 or 5 nights a week if I can. I run a room. I really put a lot of work into it, but I just don't know how to impress. Like, my girlfriend says she supports me, and she does, but, like, it's only in the way that she sees fit. So, like, local stuff to her is not worth my time necessarily, but that's where I make a little bit of money and where I get the most practice in,
Yeah, you're not going to get her to understand the business the way you will. And for me, the stand-up, as long as you're fulfilling your responsibilities and paying your bills, but I sacrificed a lot of relationships for it. And, people can learn to adjust to that. You just got to be good when you're around them. But it is a sacrifice, dude. It's very hard to get a woman or a guy, I'm sure if you're a female comic, to understand why you're out every night. Because even if they get it, they still want time with you. They still want to be around you.
And that's another thing, before I met her, I was doing stand-up, and I met a lot of girls, and I fucked around, I was doing what a lot of people in that scene do, and I didn't, I was having a good time. And then I met somebody I wanted to settle down with, and now it's hard, and I'm like trying to impress upon her. I'm not trying to fuck around. I'm trying to do stand-up. I want to do this, I want to make a living out of it instead of having to, just make a little bit at it and then do a regular job. I don't want to do a regular job.
Well, maybe you got to be a little firmer. Poke her in the chest and say, "You're lucky I'm not dumping loads everywhere, honey." Show her how lucky she is. Look, man, you got to follow the dream, and especially if you were doing it before you met her. Do you know where did you meet her at a gig?
No, I met her. I work at a charity. I met her working there.
Okay, but you told her that, so she knew you did comedy before she got advice.
Well, we were friends, which was a huge mistake in one way. It's like the best way to have a relationship because you've already kind of built a bond. But at the same time, I didn't, I told her like everything I had done before I met her pretty much through our friendship. And then we started dating, and she's like, "Oh, you're a fucking whore." So
well, that's good though. There's no reason she'd have to hide that stuff from her. You know what I mean? You did it before her. Look, man, just keep doing the gigs. Don't let any relationship, as long as you are being a present boyfriend or you're doing what you got to do for work and stuff. But you don't, because anything that you let get in the way of comedy, you're going to hate anyway.
Right.
You're going to resent whoever gets in the way. So being supportive sometimes all they can do is just shut up and let you go do your gig. And you have to realize that they're going to be annoyed once in a while, dude. It's if you were out every night, let's say you were home with a kid, right, or whatever, and she was out doing pottery every night. You'd be like, ugh, enough with the fucking pottery. I get it. It would annoy you. So that's how she's going to feel about your stand-up. So just realize that once in a while you're going to have to hear a little bullshit, and that's kind of part of it.
All right, well, I appreciate it, Jim. Thanks a lot.
All right, good luck. And every argument you have is a good bit. Remember that. Every time, one time my ex-girlfriend was reading me the riot act. She was shitting, and she was on the toilet shitting, and the door was open, because she was British royalty, and that's how she shat. And she was just yelling at me and fucking giving me the business, and I was trying to transcribe everything she said, because I'm like, this is wonderful. This will be in a book someday. So anything that you do, or every argument you have can be used.
Right.
Okay?
All right. Thanks a lot, Jim.
Goodbye. Dominic. Hi, Dominic.
Pleasure to speak to you.
Dominic. Hello, Dominic. Remember at the Anna Casino? Hi, buddy.
So I'm a recovering addict.
How long?
Very recent. Probably 3 years of an opiate addiction.
Great.
And I cut off. I have a fiance, and I gave her my plan. I said, I'm going to do this on my own, cut back. And I did it basically to a fucking T. And, she didn't really give me too much shit during that process. And now that I'm like coming back to life and everything is going fine, she's holding on to all these, repressed fucking emotions, and she's just on my ass 24/7, and it's almost pushing me back into, the way I used to be.
For what?
Like pushing me back towards, what I used to use as a crutch. And
wait. She's consciously doing it, or you're thinking of doing it?
She's not consciously doing it, but when you get in a fight at 2 a.m., and you have that problem inside of you, what are you going to reach for? You know what I mean?
Well, that's something you have to handle. I mean, that's a little manipulative to say that by being cunty or arguing, she's pushing you back towards that. She's not.
Well, I'm not blaming her. I'm saying, that's my own personal problem.
Oh, right.
I just don't know what to do with it,
Well, I mean, why do you think that she's just all this old resentment that she keeps firing back at you? Is this going to end? I mean, have you told her, like, look, you got to get this off your chest once and for all, or we're not going to be able to move forward?
Well, I've tried, and I told her, I said, look, I got my finances in order. I'm finally paying rent. I got everything going back. And I'm like, why am I getting shit now? When my bank account used to be negative. Now I'm fucking, doing everything right.
And what does she say?
She just, I don't know. She's just on my ass, because, I'll go smoke a cigarette at, 2 a.m. And she's like, where the fuck are you going? What are you doing? And I'm just like, babe, chill. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of times people get very angry and resentful, and then when we get clean and sober, it kind of comes out. But 3 years later is a long time.
Well, no, I was an addict for 3 years, and now I'm pretty much about 9 months.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I said before how long, I meant how long were you recovering for. I thought
okay.
Oh, you're sober for 9 months.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that will change. Maybe now she's secure in the fact that you're sober or that you're not getting high and drinking anymore, whatever it was you were doing. Maybe now she feels safe letting this stuff come out. Like maybe she was afraid if she let it out last time, you'd hurt yourself or it would send you on a binge. But now she knows she's not going to go on a binge. And this like resentment can slowly eke out because she knows it's not going to send you over the edge.
Holy shit, that's pretty profound, Jim. Thank you.
It's possible. I don't know, but that could be it. But I would talk to her about it and just, see if you can't just talk it out as opposed to having her fucking, throw all this bottled up resentment at you that you don't even remember what it was about.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, goodbye, buddy. Take care.
Take care.
Let's see here. Chris in Georgia. Hi, Chris. A lot of Georgia calls today.
Hi, Jim. How's it going?
How are you?
Wanted to ask you about getting into writing, for shows or other comics. I don't particularly like the idea of getting on a stage in front of people, and doing it myself.
But you want to write to other... man, I to be honest, that's a process I'm very clueless about because I've never really done it. Occasionally a buddy would ask me, like Jeff Ross or Voss were doing a roast. They'd go, hey, can you help me out with some jokes? Or I'd ask them, but I wouldn't know the first thing about going about how do you break into writing from somewhere else because a lot of people will not take, unsolicited writing. The only suggestion I could make is to start a blog and write, if you're writing funny stuff, write funny stuff in your blog so you have something people can find or read or you can refer them to. You might want to have a record of you being funny online. Just realize that, those jokes are out there now. But if you're a good writer, man, write a blog that might help at least have a place for people to go. Okay.
All right.
And it will keep you exercising mentally and keep you fresh. And this way, if the opportunity comes up, you'll at least be, in kind of like that role of writing.
Okay, cool.
All right, buddy. But I'm sorry I don't have better advice for you on that one. I'm just not 100% sure. Or even 10% sure.
That's cool. Thanks.
Goodbye. Let's see here. Matt in New Jersey. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Jim.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I got a buddy that went to rehab for alcohol, and he's been out about 2 months. He's been sober and clean, and he was going to meetings, but then he kind of stopped. He also he met a girl in rehab, and then was dating her, and then broke up with her. So I think she was kind of helping him, but he doesn't seem to want to go to meetings or, find help. And I know, people have sponsors and stuff like that. I was just wondering, how can I possibly help my friend, not slip up again and start drinking again?
Well, the old expression, I've used it before. If they're ready, you can't say anything wrong. And if they're not ready, you can't say anything right. That's not my expression. You just said he doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. One thing you can't give somebody, you can give them support, you can lend them a friendly ear, you can give them empathy, you can give them a suggestion if they ask for it. One thing you cannot give them is the desire to stay sober. That he has to have. He has to want to stay sober. He has to want to do certain things to stay sober. And, you know, my experience has been, and other people, what I've seen work for them, is to take certain suggestions. Now, if he's unwilling to do that, hey, maybe he'll be fine. But you can't make him have a willingness to do that.
It's not that he's not willing. You know, he went to rehab because, you know, his I guess you can say baby mama, didn't, want him around his son. And he went to rehab to, you know, better himself so he can see his son and, you know,
Sure.
take him out. There's no visitation rights or stuff like that. The law isn't involved, but, you know, that's what he went for. And then he broke up with the girlfriend he met, in rehab because he wanted to focus more on himself and his son. So he's motivated to do better for himself, but it just doesn't seem like he wants to, you know, try a meeting or stuff like that. And my other question was, is it a bad idea for someone like myself who does drink, you know, go to a meeting with him?
No. I mean, the worst that can happen is, you know, he doesn't like the meeting or you're uncomfortable in the meeting. No, not at all. You just don't get drunk before the meeting. But no, there's nothing wrong with you doing that. And again, what you're saying is like he wants to do the right thing for his son. And I understand that. But that's like saying like, look, he found out he has cancer and he really wants to get better, but he won't go for chemo. He won't consider chemo, or he won't try it once, or he won't try radiation once. And again, maybe his way will work. But, you know, if he's not willing to do certain things and give them a shot, then just see how long he stays clean and sober. Again, some people do it on their own, absolutely. But I don't think there's anything wrong with you going to a meeting with him. If he needs that to get him to one, then go.
Okay, yeah, because I'd really like him to go for a meeting, you know, and just, you know, experience it, you know, again and again, you know. So I just didn't know if that's, you know, something that's frowned upon, or, you know, I don't know if there's rules or whatever.
No, I mean, you know, I think it's fine if you go. I mean, you know, you're a friend and you're trying to help a friend out. I think that's rather lovely.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the advice, Jim.
Okay, buddy. Only got a couple of people left here. Let's see, Steve in PA. What's up, Steve?
Hey there, Jim. First, I want to say, huge fan, man. I love the show.
Okay.
You're an idol of mine. I'm sorry I had to get that out of the way.
Oh, you're very nice.
No, I just wanted to talk to you about self-loathing. I know that from your own days you talked about that a lot on air, but, you know, I have an issue with that, you know, and, you know, it helps me motivate. It motivates me sometimes, you know, it's a good motivator like that. You look in the mirror, you just hate yourself, you know, it kicks you right in the ass to do something. You know, last year I was like 30 pounds heavier, and then I just got tired of looking at myself in the mirror, and I lost the weight.
Sure.
But, you know, I just still feel a lot of anger at me, and I still say a lot of stupid stuff.
Sure.
And I just hate my thoughts sometimes, and, you know, it's just a part of who I am, my upbringing, but I know that you've had experience with that, so, like, how do you handle that?
Well, you know, I a lot of times use self-loathing as a motivation, but, you know, you don't have to. Like, to want to lose weight, it's healthy to want to lose weight. If you look at yourself and you're like, oh, you fat twat, all right, you go and you don't have to look at yourself and go, I'm a worthless fat piece of shit. You can look at yourself and rub your gut and go, all right, you know what? I've been a little lazy lately. You can do an honest self-analysis that isn't all bad. You know, like I've heard it suggested that people do like at the end of the day, you do like, you go over your day and you do a checklist to yourself of what you did right and what you did wrong. And every event isn't going to be wrong. So take the information, like I told that guy before, and anything negative happens, I take that as the gospel. You see, you piece of shit. But when something good happens, I think it's a fluke. Like, I don't weigh the information equally. It's like I've almost played I set up a rigged game against myself. So that's what you're doing, and just realize that's what you're doing. And then try when it happens, and when that shitty thinking comes in, start to realize, oh, okay, I'm just kind of, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting a misshapen pleasure out of feeling bad. Do you know what I mean? That's not based in fact. It's based in the fact that I like the result of feeling bad, which is this pit or this weird buzz from the bottom of my chin into my stomach. There's a feeling, a physical feeling I get, an adrenaline rush of some sort when I'm feeling bad or feeling negative or feeling self-hatred. So realize that you're not basing that on a fact. You're basing it on wanting that feeling, and it helps with it, you know?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. It's just like, saying stupid stuff because, I'm in shape now, but there's just dumb stuff. I'm 16 years old. Obviously, I'm not a fully developed human. I'm
Yeah,
still
you're a young guy.
But,
You're a young guy. Give it time. Realize that, you're going to change the way you think in 2 years. And then, 2 years after that, you're going to feel differently. I got to run, but because we only got 1 minute left. But I will tell you this. Self-loathing, especially as a teenager when we don't see things very balanced, is normal and it will pass. And just realize that when those thoughts are coming in, that a lot of times that's just confusion as to what to do with the facts in front of us. And sometimes what anger and self-hatred is safe because I feel like I can control that. And realize that those feelings are a lot of times irrational and they're not facts.
All right. Thank you very much, Jim.
All right, buddy. Take care. Last thing, Matt in Boston, you got fired. You want to freak out on the guy who got fired. Real quick, Matt, how did the guy get you fired? We lost him. Shit. Okay, well, apparently I just missed. All right, he's back at the old company causing chaos. Real quick, Ryan in Philly, answer your alcoholics father's drunk VMs. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Hi, Ryan. Sorry we got to be fast. I apologize.
No, I'm with you. I have a 5-month-old daughter. I had hesitations about telling my father because he's an alcoholic about her. She's 5 months old now. Another family member told him, and he's been leaving me drunk, harassing phone calls. When I told him about her from the get-go, I told him, don't call me again, or we're pretty much done. He's left me like 58 some odd drunk messages from then. I'm just, whether or not I should reach out to him and try and deal with it, or just stay not in contact with him at this point.
Well, I've always said, if he's left you 58 unanswered messages, and you don't want to talk to him because he's a drunk and he's always calling you drunk, he's not respecting your wishes. He's not looking to have any type of compromise in the relationship, I don't think. He wants to be drunk and he wants what he wants. So if that bothers you and you don't want him in your daughter's life, don't reach out, because what's going to happen is if you reach out and you don't want to, you know what I mean? If you're like, hey, I love my dad and I want to talk to him, then do it. But if you're like, he's an annoying motherfucker, he's a drunk, I don't want to talk to him, and you reach out, all you've told him is, hey, I got to call this kid 60 times. So you bought yourself years more of bullshit. If you feel he has nothing to add right now, and he knows why you're not talking to him is because he's a drunk, and does he know that?
No, well, I mean, obviously I told him, but in his messages, he explains wholeheartedly that he doesn't understand why I'm not returning his phone calls.
Well, maybe an email might help. And you can ask him nicely not to contact you anymore when he's drunk.
All right.
And if he does it again, you just block him or, whatever. Then you can, or change your number and don't give him the new one. But it is your dad. It's different than just some random stranger. And he's not being threatening, right? He just wants to communicate.
No, it's anger, some threatening. It's him being drunk, though. I know it's a lot different when he's not. So it makes it very difficult.
Oh, because you're talking to two different people.
All the time. When he's not, he's a completely separate person. So it does make it difficult, but I think I agree with you on the point. If I make it seem like it's okay by reaching out at this point, either it's going to make it worse or it's not going to stop, and he's not going to respect my wishes.
Yeah, but he's not respecting them now, so reaching out is absolutely not going to get him to respect them. So I would I would hold off on reaching back out to him.
Thanks for the insight, Jim. I appreciate you taking the call.
Good luck, buddy. All right, guys, I appreciate everyone's call in. I'm sorry I did not get to all the people who are still on hold. I have a bunch. Call next week, and I'll be happy to chat with you. I have tickets to a bunch of cities. Fargo, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, I think. Bunch of places. Orlando going on sale tomorrow or Friday. I will update you as soon as I know. Thank you very much, Lou, for doing this without pants. Lou just sits there with no trousers, and he teases me with his heavy bag. See you next week.
Thanks for listening to The Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM.